You know, today's a really, really exciting day for a lot of guys in our program. We had 14 guys that received degrees today. Matt, I'm going to say their names because I'm proud of them. Matt Ballard, Marquez Calloway, Andrew Craig, Carlin Films Ames, Jarrett Garantano, Jawan Jennings, Brandon Johnson, Brandon Kennedy, Landon Knoll, Riley Lovingood, Darrell Taylor, and Marcus Tatum. And we had two guys that it was their master's degree in Brandon Kennedy and Riley Lovingood. So it's a exciting time for them and their families. It's the most important thing that you'll ever do when you go to college. Student first, and these guys done a fantastic job doing that. You know, a lot of credit goes to them. Most of the credit goes to them. But I also would like to thank, Joe Scoggins in the Thornton Center, him and his staff, the fantastic job that they've done in the short period of time that I've been here. And it's a great day for these kids and their family. You know, it's the end of the year, the day's the first day back out on the field. You know, we had some guys that received some postseason awards. It's always exciting time for that. Had some guys that were invited to some all-star games. So really lots of positives going on. And today was our first day out at practice. So kind of back to the basics, the fundamentals. You know, so it's a great opportunity for everybody to kind of go back and start from ground zero. And that's something that we started with today. We'll continue to do that over the course of the next 3 or 4 days before we start working on Indiana. So I'll take any questions.
Steve?
Just housekeeping. Has anybody expressed to you that they don't plan to play in the bowl game? Anybody preparing for the draft? Any that type of thing?
No.
Blake?
Jeremy, I was wondering if we could get an update on Brandon Kennedy's knee and what his outlook is for the bowl game.
Yeah, he had a little procedure done after the Vanderbilt game, and he didn't practice today, and he won't practice for the next probably 10 days. I'm sure it'll be in 10 more days we'll look at him and see if Doc thinks that he's ready to play or ready to practice. We'll see where he's at. If he's not, he won't play. So it'll be a couple of weeks before we know anything.
Is Carvin the only main other option at center, or do you have some other guys?
No, Riley Locklear has played center. So Ollie Lane has played center. We snap, 5 and 6 guys every day. So now, when it comes to game prep, some of these guys hadn't taken some snaps in quite some time, but we started today, and they'll have plenty of time to be ready to play.
Wes and then Brent.
Jimmy, I guess this would be the first time in a while that y'all have had a kind of a long layoff between work. Was the focus, even without some of the seniors out there, was the focus kind of what you wanted it to be?
Yeah, I mean, we had a few guys based off the way the graduation went that missed today's practice, just a handful, but it's a great thing, right? So, just opportunity for some of the other guys, and we had a good spirited practice, and we've got to continue to do that. Today's the first day back. Everybody's excited kind of to get going. So, we'll rely on our leadership over the next couple of days. We've got to really focus on Tennessee and improving fundamentally, and that's what we're going to focus on for the next 3 or 4 days.
Coach, back on the graduates, do you think your average fan that just sees these guys on TV or watches them on Saturdays realize the time commitment, the management that goes into being able to handle all that as a student athlete?
What was the question?
Can you just speak to the time, how tough it is to be a student athlete? Most fans, I don't think, probably get just the time, the commitment, the time management that goes into taking care of your business as a football player and somebody that can
right.
get to school.
Well, obviously there's a 20-hour rule, right? They're going to spend 20 more hours over here, and I'm sure a lot of these guys, when you talk about treatment and lots of these guys do extra, right? So they come to college for 2 things: get a degree and improve and be the best football player they can possibly be. So they pour a lot of time into that. So and I think it's a credit to all these guys who have performed on the field and off the field.
Coach, from a bowl philosophy standpoint in terms of preparation, how do you determine how much you need fundamental work and when's the time to start working on an opponent, and how do you balance that maybe pre-Christmas before you get to a bowl site?
Right. So we'll spend the first 5 days just focusing on us. We'll go back like camp practice or spring practice, whatever you want to call it, and just kind of go back and go through our initial 5-day install and get back to kind of the basics and get everybody a lots of opportunity. We won't even start working on our opponent until the 6th practice. We'll start mixing something in there. So, but first 5 days we got is really, really focus on us.
Patrick and then Jordan.
Jeremy, how beneficial can these practices be for certain players? In your career, have you seen guys that have really benefited and kind of used bowl practices as sort of a springboard for the next season and the rest of their careers?
Well, every practice is important. You kind of look at it like this. Nobody's guaranteed anything but that day, right? But football's such a developmental game. Nobody can afford to take a day off. If you probably took the average, just when does everybody's career end in football? From college football, professional, whatever, it's probably 22, right? Maybe even less than that. So if you get an opportunity to play beyond that, which there'll be some that do, it's a short period, so you better take advantage of every opportunity that you got.
With the early signing period beginning next week, a lot of the men on your staff will get a lot of attention. Bethany Gunn, a big role in bringing recruits here to Tennessee. Can you kind of talk about her role with the program and also why you decided she was an integral part of the staff?
Bethany does a fantastic job. She handles all of our on-campus recruiting, and her and Rachel Bell, they really do a great job organizing. They've got great ideas. The ideas are fresh, they're always new, and so they do a nice job communicating. And we're very blessed to have everybody in our recruiting department, but especially those two. And there's others. If I start talking about just the folks that touch all of our recruits, there's more to it than just our coaching staff. Our recruiting staff, everybody involved, all the way that everybody that's involved in our program, everybody touches the recruits when they come on campus.